comes on the top. We're getting near the end of the day. Life's good. Now I have power and control. So I've got about a bazillion people ask us all of the time, what's going to make ARIIX unique? What's going to make it special? What's going to give it its uniqueness in the industry? Right. So I want to explain this concept ad nauseum. So many times, and by the time you're done, you know what you're going to say? I've heard it. I got it. We understand it. Because it is going to change direct selling, because for the first time it's actually going to be run like a business. Come on. Okay? It is not going to be run like a hype machine where we make up stories and we come up with all these dumb things about products that they don't do. When in reality, all that is a pyramid. Yeah. Ponzi in the 19th century came up with a pyramid. It was a great idea. I mean, it was horrible. It took people's money. Yeah. But it was ingenious. Yeah. What he said was, you know something? Exponential, the power of 2, growing at that rate. Yeah. 1, 2, 4, 8. You know what? You know what matters with writing? You guys have heard me so time. You should see what it's like talking to him. He's got the same look like when we're in the office. I don't know what I've got tonight at about 7. Fake interest, baby. So, I forgot what I was saying. I was going to make a comment with his wife, but I thought better. So, anyway, so, now I'm 2, right? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, it grows really quick. Right. So he realized, wow, if we just let everyone put money into a fund, and they put this money in by joining this club, and they, in turn, enrolled 2 people into the club, and they, in turn, enrolled 2 people into the club, and they, in turn, enrolled 2 people into the club, this thing would grow really big. And if we charge a fee to get into the club, then we are rich. Because everyone will make money on everybody who enrolls. And as the creator of the Ponzi scheme, or the pyramid, I myself am the top dog. So he not only makes money from the 2 people he enrolls, but he makes money from the 2 people they enroll, and the 2 people they enroll, and the 2 people they enroll. That kind of sounds like direct selling, doesn't it? It certainly does. In fact, there's a few of you out there in the company, right, Woodson, whose company, that was their whole objective. Enroll people. And you get paid on enrollments. And guess what? One day you get a little notice on your door that says you're shut down. And suddenly everything you worked for, and the superstar that you were, and the onstage person that you were, is gone. Overnight. Now think about direct selling and what it is known for in the general public. Isn't that what it's known for? Yep. Isn't that why people are scared when you come up and say, I joined a network marketing company? Oh, crap! And network marketing companies make a lot of money on people just willing to buy the stuff so you'll get the hell out of their house and they're gone. It's true. You see it all the time. That's not how normal business runs. And what happens is, over the course of time, that type of an industry fails. And it fails because there is no product that is distributed. Right. Yeah. Tim Sales says it very well, right? The product has to sell out of the channel. Yes. In other words, we're not just giving them some hokey-pokey thing that really has to deal with nothing but enrollment. Right. And the moment you do that, The moment you do that and cross over that bridge, you're out of business. So that means you've got to have products that work. You've got to have products that are actually demonstratable, they've got to be effective, and you've some way got to protect them so that only you can sell them. If you can't do that, you can't make any money other than the enrollment, company's out of business. But the problem is finding those products. It is expensive. It takes a long time to formulate that product. It takes a long time to get it registered, doesn't it, right? In Hong Kong, it can take a year. And when you tweak one little stupid ingredient, one little tiny thing because you don't like it, like you don't like the red printed on a Rejuvenex capsule. For those of you who are new, I'd like later to introduce to you Deanna Ladson. The clock starts over. All the registration fee, gone. All the time in the queue, gone. Re-register. See what companies don't want to waste their time? They don't want to waste their time because it's going to take them too long, too much money. And then when they deliver the new product, it's not going to sell any different than the old product. So it's just a waste of expense. So they become stagnant. And they keep selling the same stuff time after time after time. This simple process is in economics called a product life cycle. This is a polynomial curve. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? It's got dual linear functions. It starts at the top at a decelerating rate, accelerates at an accelerating rate, and decelerates at the bottom for a decelerating rate, becoming asymptotic to a bottom value. If you're a math man, you know exactly what it said. Asymptotic means it gets closer and closer but never touches. That is the style that all products go through when it comes time to price a new product. When it is new, it starts out very, very, very expensive because everybody wants it, everybody wants to show off to their neighbors. But as more and more people realize there's something to be made, as the commodity becomes more standardized, the price falls. So on this little axis, you can see the price and time. Over time, every new thing gets old. And over time, nothing is worth what it used to be until it becomes a collectible and it has a chance to go up. We'll talk about risk and assessment later. So generally speaking, this pattern follows. Now, the blue line that you see on there represents cost. You can't tell on that particular scale because costs look relatively flat. And they are because of economies of scale. As a company gets bigger, it can produce more product at a cheaper price because it gets volume discounts. But it has little things like labor. It usually is the hiring of employees for people that are dumb enough to work for another company. Oh, I speak of myself too. For those kind of individuals, that represents usually about 60 to 80% of the total cost in the company associated with it. And all of you who are employees want raises, don't you? You want to make a little more money. So that line is actually slightly up. Even though you get economies of scale on the products of goods and services and the cost of goods. Now, in addition to that, that difference that you see between the price that you charge and the cost is called profit. It's a beautiful thing. And you make a lot of money. But what happens over time? Profits decrease because you can't charge as much. Now, if profits are decreasing, and my costs are staying the time, efficient companies can stay in business. But inefficiencies in companies cannot. Because their costs are much higher. But in the meantime, the company doesn't want to lose money because the price of the products are increasing. So what do? They take the red line, the purchase price, and they keep wanting to raise it. So over time, prices on products in direct selling companies go up. And they continue to go up year after year without any innovation. Why? Because it costs so much time and so much money to innovate. It's easier to maintain your current level of costs. We don't want to have to put Riley through another registration process and upgrade the products with better ingredients and new science. Why? Because the product I've got is falling in value. So if the product is falling in value as the cost goes up and the price goes up, pretty soon we've got a big gap between the yellow line, what the product is worth, and what we're trying to sell it for. So in multi-level marketing, how do they make up that difference on that side?
From the distributor.
You make stuff up. The bigger the tail, the bigger you can make up the difference between what it really is worth and what it is asked for in direct selling. Ultimately, that differential gets so big, that people will no longer pay the price no matter what. So what do you as reps do? You start to say, okay, I can't sell it for this price. I can't sell the product. So I'm going to start selling the business opportunity. So you switch from how great is the product to, but you don't know. I know it's hard to sell, but doggone it, you don't know how much money you're going to make. And as soon as you start to brag about how much money you're going to make, and not about products, but you're going to make a lot because you join, you enter into a Ponzi scheme. See the vicious cycle? So the company really should be lowering the prices over time, but it can't. Why? Because if we lower the prices, we have to lower the commissions. And if we lower the commissions on you, what do? You quit, or you take your team and go play ball with another team, because why? They've got a new product. They've got the sizzle. They got the momentum. Everybody's joining. All that same garbage we hear all the time. What's really happening is, I'm trying to sell the same old stuff. I can't sell it for the price I'm like, and I've run out of stories. So that's why companies, in an instant, can go from 840 million a year in sales to 100 million in sales. And what you thought was a lifetime of income isn't anything. It happens all the time in direct selling. All the time. Companies come and go. So we need to be able to be on the high side of the product life cycle all the time. And not only do we need to be on the high side, we've got to be on the high side with new, innovative products that we can sell. So, we need a strategy that will keep producing this kind of results. And we have it. And we have it, one, through a compensation plan. Our unilevel is a compensation plan that builds a genealogy that is infinitely wide. You can put as many people on your front line as you want, but it only pays so many levels deep. Unlimited width, limited depth. A matrix is a design in which it is limited wide, only 4 or 5 people on your front line, and only 4 or 5 levels deep is what it pays on. That's a matrix. A binary is limited width, only so many people on your front line, but it will pay infinite depth. So in summary, you can see we have what? 3 types of compensation plans. We have a unilevel, which has an infinite factor and a limiting factor. We have a matrix, which has limited both depth and width. And we have a binary that is limited in width, but not in depth. There is one pattern missing. One that does not limit the width, and one that does not limit the depth. That is called a patent pending compensation plan multi-line. So, why does this matter? Well, one, it gives us a competitive advantage for the rest of our lives. We have a compensation plan that allows people who love unilevels to build like a unilevel. People who love matrix to build like a matrix. And people who love binaries to build like a binary. You pick. But it has one more value. You see, up until now, there has never been a way to successfully merge direct selling companies.
Oh my goodness.
Right? But if you look at this little picture, since I have an unlimited width and unlimited depth opportunity, we could take a unilevel and put it right in the multi-line. We could take a binary, a matrix. Oh, I've had hybrids where they do partial binary, partial matrix. I don't care. Any of those will merge directly into our compensation plan for acquisition. Part of the joy of building a business is providing your consumer with what they want. So first and foremost, you can now appeal to anyone who has a prejudice for one type of a compensation plan over the other. And if they don't, because they're new to the business, Merry Christmas, because they don't need to know all this. They just have to know they have unlimited width and unlimited depth. For ARIIX, it also provides a great opportunity. And here's why. Think about this. Most network marketing companies are fighting against the product lifecycle. They are telling tall tales for a product that is not worth the price that they are charging. And as a result, their doom is imminent. And ARIIX is gladly here to help the people who are looking for a new home to join with ARIIX.